And then in your kid, and it's a continuation. And really there's about 12. So Jung talks about the 12 archetypes. I'm passing around some archetype cards. Those are from Carolyn Mace. I told you about her before. She's got a great book. She does this like archetypal wheel. We could do that one day. It's kind of cool. Or you could just look at the main sort of planets. So if we're looking at the sun, we're looking at the moon, we're looking at Mercury, Venus, Saturn, Jupiter. I'll tell you quickly what they mean. Uranus, what am I forgetting? Pluto, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. What am I forgetting? Gemini.
Saturn.
We got Gemini.
Yeah, Saturn.
Taurus.
Let's go in order. Aries is Mars.
Scorpio, which is
Scorpio we have here. So we've got Aries, Taurus, and Libra share the same glyph, Venus, but they mean two different things. I'll tell you in a second. Gemini is Mercury, Cancer is the moon, Leo is the sun, Virgo is Chiron, you know about Chiron. Libra we have is Venus, Scorpio, Sagittarius is Jupiter, Saturn,
Pisces,
and then Pisces, yeah, of course. And that's our glyph for psychology. Neptune. You see in the psychology club, this is the glyph. Because this is where all the shit is fucked the fuck up. That's why Pisces is so fucked up.
Okay,
So I have a little fish here,
yeah,
and I've got the Pisces constellation. So every single one of you that is attracted to this field
I have one for Scorpio.
has a lot of Neptune in your little diagram. Codependence, addiction, savior, servitude, victim. God, crucify me! It's the Jesus story. That's why it's the age of Pisces. So, people that are attracted to this field have this. And in Greek mythology, it's Hephaestus, which is a poor, ugly duckling. So, here we have the hero archetype, here we have the mother archetype, here we have the trickster archetype, here we have the lover archetype, here we have like the rules structure or the organizer type of archetype. There's different names and you'll read different things. This is the sage or the seeker, this is what rules higher education, so people that are really drawn to like learning and philosophy and things like that. Here is chaos, so liberty, freedom, people that are all about free, free, free. And Pluto is the death rebirth archetype, so this is the Jesus story. Mars is the warrior archetype. Chiron is the virgin, the wounded healer, that I told you last week about Chiron. And Neptune is the black sheep, the piece of shit of the zodiac. So, all of these archetypes are in you. So every single person has a hero. Every single person comes with a mission and a purpose. But every single person comes with anger or a warrior. Either a warrior to fight, and then the flip side is, I'm going to beat the shit out of you. And I can take a gun to your head. That's just the reality. Every single archetype, all of your characters have a bad and a good. They all have the 0 and the 100. And the problem psychologically that people have is when they are either all bad or all good. What is our job? To help them what?
Find the middle.
Find a little bit in either direction, depending where they come, because we have the devil proclaimed right here, we need to get her a little bit closer to the 100, where her mother needs to get a little bit closer to 0, where I call it the 48 to 52. So that's the job of understanding that we have all of this. And all we, as a therapist, bless you, or as an individual, can just take a step closer to that. The bad tends to be the shadow, tends to be the things you don't see, tends to be the thing that the elder tells you, try to do that a little less. There's this story, I'm just going to give you a brief synopsis. It's a quick little story anecdote, but I'll give you, I actually saw someone who had a tattoo on their arm at a recent memorial that I was at. So there was a leader, or maybe it was a tribe elder or something, talking with his grandson or talking to somebody. And the man says to the little boy, "You have 2 wolves living inside of you. One is dark and one is light." And the little boy says, "Which one wins?" And the elder or the grandfather says, "Depends which one you feed."
Which one you feed?
Which one you feed. So we have both. We decide which one we're going to feed. Usually shame comes when we try to feed the bad and it's been against the family or the religion. It has nothing to do really with you. You could feed whatever you want, but you have a lineage of so much from so long ago that told you that you should be good and to be ashamed of the bad. You want to feed that dark wolf? Honey, go feed that dark wolf. But that's where the values and the judgments are linked into all of that. But did I answer your question about that religion, that all it is a mythology? And they put fear, because they turned it into a religion, they control you, they make you feed the thing with blood, and then you wear the colors, and then that thing's gonna protect you, and you keep paying and paying and paying and paying. And nothing in this world is a protection. Nothing is a talisman. People fill their pockets with crystals. Do it. No problem. I don't care. But none of it is going to protect you, because if we go to the origin, what is life? You're going to have good, and you're going to have bad, and you're going to have wonderful, beautiful people in your life, and you're going to have not so wonderful, beautiful people in your life. And I don't give a shit how many crystals and statues and religions and money you pay to some tarot reader. Every single one of us comes from the same exact material, from the stars, from the cosmos, with the same physical organs, with the same psychological organs. You've got the same slut and the same virgin.
My mom always questions, where did you come from with all the stuff that you have? Like,
tell her.
No, I have.
You!
No, because I've told her.
And see her drop dead.
Yeah, you don't have a relationship with your mom. Every time my grandmother would call, she's like, tell her that I'm not here. Tell her that. But she claims that it's because my grandmother has a problem.
Of course,
like,
because the blame
yeah.
has to go somewhere.
Yeah.
So the religion of your mother's family story is that the Pluto, who's the devil, is your grandmother. Every family has the characters, people.
Yeah.
This is a straight line. This does not skew. That's why it's do magic. I just know this. I'll be like, oh, that's just, she's showing me that part of her.
Question.
Yes.
Bad is shadows. What is good? Look.
Yeah, like.
Well,
Duh.
it's the light. It's the light, but oftentimes, remember, like Jung said, or Campbell, the cave you fear to enter is the one that holds your gold. This is where shame comes in, which we're going to talk about in a moment. We're going to do an activity, and I brought something to read to you. Any questions? If you like what I teach you, this is it.
Can we do the astrology thing? So that we know.
What is, you see
Yes.
the one that's, right underneath the Taurus and Libra sign? That looks like an H?
That's
Yeah.
Saturn.
Right, but what is it, what does it mean?
Oh, that's the rules, the structure, time. That's Father Time. That's when we all are running against the clock. That's Christmas. This is Christmas. Why Christmas is in December? Jesus was not born in December. Jesus was a Leo. He was born in August or July. And it was not the Son of God. It was the Son of God, because the Egyptians,
Wow, and this whole time I
The monkey
celebrate the 25th.
right now is like.
yes, let me tell you why we're going to celebrate the 25th and why it's important to celebrate
That's
the
so
25th.
crazy, 'cause
Yeah.
So in Egyptian
The
mythology,
monkey is right now shook.
And he died.
Right. He
in
was born
Egyptian
now.
mythology, the sun is the focus of everything. Without the sun, we have no life. Okay? I am not knocking religion. I am telling you where the origin of the stories came. You celebrate what you need to celebrate. Nobody here. I love me, Jesus.
But, wait a minute, oh, because, I mean.
Can I see the
Why do I love Jesus? Because I love.
Exactly.
I've never celebrated it, like, with the whole,
I
like,
did it.
you know, nativity or none of that. I just
Okay, but
celebrate
I love Jesus. But why do I love Jesus?
for
The
the gift.
reason I love Jesus is because psychologically, I love the idea that we can birth, die, and rebirth.
Yeah.
I am in a death right now.
Yeah.
I am dying. So I'm either going to freaking be buried, or cremated because I don't want to be buried, or I am going to reborn.
Yeah.
So I am the Jesus story right now.
Well, why,
That's just the way it is.
why do people, again, in Catholicism, they say that you don't reborn? It's not.
It's
you either
because-
die
Because they have to keep God as God, so that you will keep doing what they want you to do. And you will not live and be a whore in this life, girlfriend. And you will have your party up in heaven.
It's because they're enforcing fear, so
Yeah.
you don't do the things that I want.
If not, you will fuck everybody that comes into the room. And how dare you? Because that is Lilith.
Amen to that.
That is Lilith, and that is evil because she made Adam fall. Do you want to know what the fall means?
What's a fall?
What does it mean?
There's this great movie. I have to bring it. I forgot what it's called. I'll find it. I have it. I can picture it. I can see the picture and everything. One of the Kabbalistic or the Hebrew tradition interpretations of the fall of man was the erection of Adam.
Oh my
That the fall was the not having the erection.
Not having it?
Yeah.
Well, a lot of people fall.
Because Lilith took all the power. So, that's what this means. So let me just tell you a little bit about the Christmas. So the reason that we celebrate Christmas and Christmas is, first of all, this Saturn, this planet, is in the constellations around Christmas time. So people that are born around Christmas are Capricorns, like Gersten. Okay? So first
My
of all,
husband.
you're
My mom.
Capricorn?
My husband and my
Oh,
son.
she's born on Christmas Day. Okay.
Christmas Day.
Oh man, so is my tenant.
Yeah.
Christmas Day.
Okay, so that's
my
a
husband
very,
and my
very
father
important
Or
planet for Trisha. She's not abiding very well to the meaning of it.
Oh no.
So we
no.
gotta bitch slap you into Capricorn because you're way too to the Uranus side. She wants woo! And we gotta get you structured.
My brother are
So the reason is that way before Christianity, there used to be the religion of the goddess. There used to be the Celts, there used to be the pagans that used to take care of the land. We're moving into that again. And when the Christians came with the men on horses and their spears, they said, these crazy witches celebrate Saturnalia, Bacchanalia, Astra, these pagan holidays. And Bacchanalia was a fucking orgy. They fucked and ate for days.
Yeah.
Because what they were doing, it's so fun, right? No wonder you were born on that. She's like, sign me up! But, this is super important of that. They would take the crops and everything from the land, and they would work all the land. And then what happens around Christmas? It gets cold and snow and everything dies. So they would celebrate the final harvest. And then they would bring in all the crops. They would have a feast. They would food and fuck for days, drink, and then they would start again. So when the Christians came in, they said, damn, we can't tell them that Jesus, the son, August, Leo, of man, that Bacchanalia is going to be in August. We're going to have to take the established religious holidays of the goddess, of the pagans, of the Celts, that already exist, and change the name. So they took Bacchanalia and they made it Christmas. They gave it a religious twist. They gave it a virgin, because they need to virginize everybody. You can eat, but you can't fuck.
Yeah.
And Astra is Easter. And they did this. Samhain is, well, it was the Halloween. And they started changing all of the religions, but all of the traditions, but they just changed the names and the stories around them slowly, 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 because it would have been too much of a shock if they changed the whole calendar. And the thing is that the pagan and the Celtic and the goddess calendar has everything to do with the moon, not the sun. Egypt has to do with the sun. But the Hebrew and the goddess is all around the moon. So you notice that these holidays have to do with lunar cycles. And they didn't change that because they knew it would be too much for the people. So if you ever saw the Book of Mormon, the Broadway show, which I highly recommend because that shit is funny as fuck, that is an example of how they went in to like these tribes to sell Mormon. No different. I mean, that's a hysterical show.
Yeah.
Hysterical. It is no different than everything that happened with Judeo-Christian religions. So this isn't about your religion. Believe what you want. Who gives a shit? Every religion has the same characters. It's about going to the origin and understanding that the origin is the sky, that those stories live in you, And that's why we resonate with story. That's why we get excited. That's why we want to talk about people. That's why we gossip. It's all the origin of who we are. And it is the psychological organ. And we have all of the pieces in us. We get to choose which one we're going to live more with. I lived a very, very, very Aryan warrior for most of my life. And now, I can't.
You're drained.
I am so drained. So it's like everybody's, you're a warrior. Yesterday, I must have told 10 people, no,
Yeah.
no, I'm not. And I had to get to the truth of who I really am, what I have been running from, which is Hephaestus. Any questions so we can move into Shane?
Yes. Is this something that explains these?
Yes, there's a little book in there. I teach a class, and all of that is symbol, and we can do that in another class. Narcissus.
Oh, they're putting them together.
I know, but did you see the face? So she's making her own story there. Okay?
Cool, but
Any questions about this? Do we understand that we're not that complex? Do we understand where we come from?
Oh,
Every single thing is symbol. Because every single thing in the cosmos is symbolic. And all it has done is trickle, 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 trickle into you. So I can ask you what this conch shell means, and you can each give me a story, and I will know your whole psyche.
to hear.
Because
To hear the ocean.
okay.
to call
I
out.
will. Yes, in the Hindu tradition,
That's a
and
beautiful.
here we have beautiful Vishnu, has a conch shell in his ear over his head, and it is for balance. And the conch shell is, and if you go down Biscayne Bay, is it? You see the guy blowing on the conch shell. So there are legends that a guy wanted to contact his lover, blah, blah, blah. There are stories. So it's all symbolic. So every single symbol, those cards are all symbolism. The archetype cards are all symbolism. I brought a bunch of cards. They're all symbolic. All of that is symbol.
Yeah.
So everything is symbol, and it's from here is where we get the symbol. And what is the language of the psyche?
Symbol.
Symbol. The language of the archetype is symbol, metaphor, story, archetype, because it starts here. And the answer to life, my friends, is the combo of meeting this in the middle, what you want and what you must do. It's between heaven and earth. It's between science and spirit. It's between chaos and structure. That's why you see my symbol. Maybe that's what I'll get on my friggin' tits. That's my symbol of how I start everything. That is a good thing.
Oh my God.
And funny enough, the Venus would fall right in my heart chakra, which is compassion, love, and service, and femininity. So you guys might have just helped me this way. Maybe I'll hang a little feather from the
Oh, no, is it?